Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Trey, and let's talk about this whole James Gunn reboot DCU nonsense, because he's already trying to play victim, knowing darn well what he was getting into. And see, that's the thing I don't like. I hate when these studio heads, these people in Hollywood, try to play victim, and then some of y'all try to defend their asses. Like, no, fuck that. These bitches get paid millions of dollars. I'm not feeling sorry for none of them at this point. I'm so sick of everybody want to try to victimize themselves when they get in some hot water with people or whatever. No, DC paid you millions. You live in a mansion right now. You know what I'm saying? You the one who keep casting your damn wife in everything you do. And now everybody was like, it looks like they're casting couches for real. Technically it is. You know, every time he does a project, here she goes in the project. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, we're not. What we're not about to do. We're not about to victimhood James Gunn for his actions. He knew that people wanted Henry Cavill Superman in there. He knew that the studio had told Henry Cavill to make the announcement that he was returning as Superman. He knew that people were excited for Man of Steel 2. He knew that. Let's not pretend like he didn't know. He then proceeds to do the unthinkable and fire Henry Cavill as Superman, and then was confused that he's getting backlash, but wanted to try to say, oh, it's the Snyder, it's a vocal minority. No, it's not a vocal minority. Everybody's fucking pissed off at your ass. Even news articles were talking about, what the hell, James Gunn? Like, no, you chose this. These are your consequences. Like, I don't understand what makes you think that you're going to cancel Man of Steel 2. You're going to get rid of Henry Cavill, and then thought that, oh, it's just a small vocal minority. No, it's not a small vocal minority. And for you to even try to say that is highly disrespectful. Highly disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Just take your lumps. Take your lumps. But what we're not about to do, we're not about to be victimhood. We're not about to troll the fans. We're not about to blame the fans neither. That was a decision that you chose. No one else chose that decision but you. And what I was seeing is some people trying to say that David Ayer and Zack Snyder and Henry Cavill should get their fans in check or whatever and stuff like that. They don't have to do a goddamn thing. I don't understand what the hell make y'all think that people are in charge of other people. No one's in charge of anybody else. I can be a fan of all three of these people, and I can either disagree or agree with anything they said, but they don't work for DC anymore. They don't have to defend DC honor, and they don't have to defend James Gunn's honor neither. All three of those men were screwed out by Warner Brothers. So why should they? And out here, some people talking about, well, because sometimes they bully people and whatever and stuff like that. Every fandom has bullies. Every fandom has people in the fandom that says some terrible things to them. It is what it is. Get over yourselves. You're not the only fandom that get people telling them to go kill themselves. Hell, I get messages too that says kill myself when I have a hot take that they don't like. So please, don't cry me a river about, oh, Snyder cultists is again attacking. Y'all love going with that bullshit when people don't like a lot of things. Newsflash, not everybody that liked the Snyder Cut is part of the Snyder cultists or whatever. The general audience just probably liked what Zack was doing, as much as people try to pretend like they didn't. They probably did. They honestly did. Because if they didn't, people wouldn't have been begging for Henry Cavill Man of Steel or more Zack Snyder's Justice League. That was a popular consent. And it wasn't just a small vocal minority. It was a lot of people that said that. But I'm not going to, like I said, I'm always going to defend fans first before I defend anything else. DC, Warner Brothers, have been pissing the fans off for almost 10 years. And then somebody was like, well, if you guys cared about Henry Cavill, why you guys didn't show up for Black Adam? He was a fucking cameo that was was shown on fucking Twitter. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, a few people went to go see it, but the problem with Black Adam is that the character himself cannot stand alone. And this Black Adam movie proved that. Because he should have been in Shazam. You know what I'm saying? The Rock doesn't have the pull like Henry Cavill has the pull. You get what I'm saying? Now, if Henry Cavill was in that movie, I'm quite sure the movie would have did well. I'm just being honest. A 30-second cameo ain't much to go and get people to go and watch your movie. Because again, most people didn't know where this movie was going to take place. They don't know what part of the universe is going to take place in. We don't know if we're ever going to see these characters again. You have jaded the general audience. So why would they show up? Hell, they didn't show up for the Suicide Squad or Peacemaker, but yet James Gunn's the perfect person to run DC Studios. What? Really? Oh, okay. Okay. And now people are getting mad that some people are bringing up his controversial tweets or some of his acts that he had back in the past. It is what it is. It is what it is. Just like y'all try to bring up other people's stuff too when y'all don't like stuff. So fair is fair, love and war at this point, right? Hell, after Henry Cavill got fired, here come a smear campaign talking about how terrible he is as a person. So clearly, it happens on both sides. It happens on both sides. But again, like I said, what we're not about to sit up here and do is play the victim. I refuse to play the victim. I refuse to play this game. Like what he said, one of the things that Peter and I were aware of is when we took the job as heads of DC Studios, but certain minority of people online that could be, well, unferocious and unkind to say the least. Our choices for the DCU are based upon what we believe is best for the story and for the best for the DC characters who have been around for 85 years. Perhaps these choices are great, perhaps not, but they are made with sincere hearts and integrity, and always with story in mind. No one loves to be harassed or called names, but to be frank, we've been through significantly worse. Disrespectful outcry will never ever affect our actions. Okay. We were aware that there would be a period of turbulence when we took this gig, and we knew we would sometimes have to make a difficult and not so obvious choices, especially in the wake of fraction nature what came before. But this means little to us in comparison to our jobs as artists and custodians. I'm helping create a wider, wonderful future for the DC. And my thing is, you're trying to play victim. You're trying to sit up here and say it is a vocal minority. No, everybody united against you firing Henry Cavill. At all. It ain't got nothing to do. Nobody was being disrespectful. But because people said, hey, fire James Gunn. Hey, it doesn't make any sense that his wife keeps showing up in all his projects or whatever and stuff like that. I mean, you fired Henry Cavill. People are going to be upset. You knew you was going to get that backlash. So stop playing victim. You say you can understand name calling. Well, if you can understand that, if you knew you was going to get that backlash, why make the tweet? Why make the tweet, right? Because the reason why you did that is because you're trying to play victim. You want to try to get people on your side. You want to try to make them feel sorry for you. Well, guess what? A lot of us ain't feeling sorry for you. You caused this problem. This is what you chose to do. You the one who chose to do something stupid when you didn't even have a plan for Superman. Oh, Peter and I are working on the script. What? You're working on the script when you have at Prime Henry Cavill, at prime Henry Cavill, when you could just easily, and I mean easily, take the plans that Zack Snyder had and retool that shit and do Man of Steel 2, which had Brainiac involved, and the introduction of Supergirl. Oh my God. How hard would that have been? And another thing, can we go back to the part where I don't know if any of you guys remember this, because I don't know, I forgot a lot of y'all don't read fucking comic books, but when one writer leaves, another writer takes on the position of the characters, right? And whatever the writer leaves, 9 times out of 10, well, back in the old days, not today. Today, everybody want to try to do their own stamp and reboot the characters and take away everything that was set up. But back in the old days, whatever was left after that story arc, and another writer, which is quote unquote director, comes in, guess what? They use what's left on those tools and they make the changes that they need to fit what they need to do, but they keep the history of the character, but while telling us a new story. That's what you should do. That's more creative than we need to hard reboot. Because it's not just happening in movies, it's happening in books all the time. Every time there's a new writer for DC or Marvel comic books, they want to retcon or soft reboot the characters to the point where everything that just happened from the past run is null and void, instead of picking up the tools that the last writer left, like back in the old days of comic books. You say you want to be an artist and custodian and create a brighter DC universe. Well, okay, you already have the cast. All you have to do is just take what was left of the universe and just tweak it a little bit and just tell good stories. Y'all talking about a 10-year plan, but y'all can't even fucking get a Superman movie off the ground. We got 2 Superman projects. One that James Gunn and Peter just came up with off the top of their asses. That ain't even written yet. Ain't got no cast in the first. Ain't got nothing to tell for it. But sure, whatever, right? And then Ta-Nehisi Coates' Black Superman movie, where Clark Kent is going to be black for no reason in the 1920s, because that's what people want to watch. What the fuck? Like, make the shit make sense. It don't make sense. If I was in charge of WB, I'm going to just use what Zach left, and I'm gonna tweak it, and I'm gonna use the Snyder. I'm gonna use the Snyder cut. You know why? Because that's loyalty. They showed up, regardless of if you don't like the Snyder stuff or not. They showed up though. They sold out my Blu-ray and DVD sales. That's not nothing to sneeze at. His movies sell well after they get out of the movie theater, and they still gross money. It is a gamble, but I'll take that gamble over let's just do whatever and hope to God, it'll land on something. Because they did. They let DC have free range after they got rid of Zack. And it didn't work. It did not work. So I don't know what to tell you. I honestly don't know what to tell you. But if it was me, we're using Snyder stuff, and I'm gonna tweak it. And guess what? And I'm gonna be the savior. I'll be the savior of DC. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna talk, and I'm gonna figure out ways of talking to Snyder, and I'm gonna see what his plans are. And I'm gonna secretly work in private with him to get his vision. And then tell Snyder, we ain't gonna be able to get everything, but we're gonna try to meet in the middle with your stuff. That's how you do it. That's how you make people happy. I'm not saying give them everything they want, but give the fans that's been loyal to you something. That's all I'm saying. If you know they want a Man of Steel 2, give it to them. You know they want a Batman solo movie with Ben Affleck, give it to them. You know they want Justice League 1 and 2, I mean 2 and 3, give it to them. And then after Justice League 3, bam, then here come your rebirth era, James Gunn. And then that's when you start putting your stuff in there. That's when you start recasting these characters, because it will make sense. I'm just saying. But again, you asked for this job. I mean, no, you accepted this job. So just take note of it. If you want people to shut up, then prove them wrong. Don't keep getting on social media talking about this or that. Because at this point, all you did was prove Den of Nerves and Grace Randolph correct in their rumors. Every time you said no to them, then you'll confirm it with your actions. Make it make sense. So if you really want people to stop talking, show us. That's the problem with a lot of y'all. Y'all never want to show us. You want to try to attack us and victimhood yourself. Now screw that. If I already know I pissed off most of the fandom, I'll make sure I focus on telling the best Superman story ever. I'm just being honest. But no, woe is me. Oh, people are saying hurtful things and it will just not be tolerated or whatever. Okay, you think you can ignore the fandom all you want to. You think you can not give the fandom what they want. All right, ask Disney how that's working out for them lately. It's not really working out that well for them. But that's just my personal opinion. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.